He said, this is contractual agreements with the private Federal Reserve. You are not even involved. Then he kind of blinked and backed off and said, okay, Congress better sign on to this, or we're going to have a depression in the next month. So,
I think they're going to go ahead and do this anyway without the act of Congress. I think they're going to come up with some way to do it, Alex.
Well, I heard you in the first hour say that, and you're absolutely right. So, I mean, they're saying, do this or we'll have a depression, or do this or we'll just do it anyways, and then we'll blame Congress for the controlled corporate media that the foreign banks own. We will blame you for all of this. So this is a bank robbery. And when you rob a bank, you go in with a gun, and you point at the people and you say, put your hands up, and you gag them. And our military, our police are good people, but they haven't tripled the number of the police in the last 10 years to play tiddlywinks. They haven't militarized the military domestically and trained them for gun confiscation and hired 26,000 preachers. This came out a year after I reported it when it was classified. Now it's mainstream news. They have preachers saying, turn your guns in, go to FEMA camps. They're teaching in Austin. I mean, imagine the preachers, 26,000, are being paid money, undisclosed amounts, to tell everybody martial law is good, Romans 13, submit to government. My point is, this was planned over a decade ago. I remember back in 1999 going interviewing the San Antonio police chief, former Army intelligence himself, Ale Philippus. And he said Delta Force came into his office and tried to bribe him with millions of dollars just to, quote, be friends. What does the military do in Iraq? They're reporting $23 billion stolen, disappeared. They pay off the locals. They pay off the troops. Army privates are being given $30,000. Generals are being given tens of millions. It's to compromise them. It's to corrupt them. This is a covert operation, buying off what city managers they can, buying off county commissioners, city council, mayors, buying off police chiefs, setting up local CIA offices under the guise of Homeland Security. See, first they stage Oklahoma City, use that as a pretext to set up a police state. They have a fake drug war in the name of stopping drugs while it's shipped in by black ops as a pretext to have informants spying on the public. Then they stage a massive terror attack as a pretext to openly roll out NORTHCOM and the new military jurisdiction, which openly states the American people are an enemy force to be dealt with by the military. That's stated in PDD 51, John Warner Defense Authorization Act. It's all there, stated. Then they collapse the economy, loot and steal everything, go offshore with it, cause a global depression, and then they state in hundreds of documents, I can name them if you'd like. This is so incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I'm even allowed to come on here and talk about this. I'm just so honored, George. There's some shows in our control we can talk about this.
Well, I want people to see a bigger picture, Alex.
Well, they're definitely getting it right now. So then the IMF and World Bank, Exim Bank, International Bank of Settlements, that's actually running all this that they use in Reconstruction. That's what this is, Reconstruction of the U.S. and the image of the New World Order, set up in 1945. That's who's running it. Exim Bank's the key to all this. That's the global receivership body. They have to bankrupt us. Banks make their money when something's bankrupted. So corporate takeover of the United States in total. And to do that, they have to destroy confidence. They have to tell people it's their fault. They have to sell the public on this. And then they're going to use the military and police in the name of stopping the crisis to orchestrate the implosion, to orchestrate the consolidation, and then everything's federalized, but through the private banks, then the people become indentured servants. That is the crossroads that we are now at, and there's no more time for denial. Folks, we didn't just tell you on this show and on my website and the things that I do that they were going to implode the economy. We told you specifically 3 years ago it would happen through the subprime mortgages as the pretext to blame the people. We told you that would be a fraud because we have their documents. We are not revelating anything here to you. We are giving you their own stated battle plan because something this big cannot be hidden. And so we need the military and police to follow the Bill of Rights, to follow the Constitution. We need to say no to this bailout and realize it is going to be 100 times worse if we allow them to carry this out through fruition.
Why are they doing it now, Alex? There's a reason. Somewhere there's a reason why they're doing it now.
They're doing it now, George, because in the Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act about to pass the Senate, already passed the House. In the official UN meeting they had last week that was televised in Europe, in all the globalist documents, they state that they plan to do this in 2010 or 2011, but that there has been they state this, I can pull it up, there has been a global awakening to false flag terror. There has been a global awakening to the fact that private banks really own and run the major Western governments. There has been a global awakening. They meant to use the Internet as the worldwide wiretap, as DARPA and MIT called it in the 70s when they invented it. And because the independent media took the field, because we won, they're hurrying the operation up that they plan to carry out. Worldwide, their New World Order is in trouble. There are other global entities in Russia and China that are challenging them, and so they are deciding, as you said last night, or it was actually Monday, I heard it rebroadcast in Austin, local stations re-air you earlier in the evening before you go live. I heard you break down that they decided to do this now on their timetable, and that's it. They knew, they became through hubris delusional. And they admit this. The true record, the true publication of record, the Financial Times of London said 2 years ago, they said, look, in several articles, forget the Wall Street Journal, it's the Financial Times of London. That's really where they tell you the truth. Thinly veiled, and, well, not even thinly veiled anymore. It's just openly stated. They said the financial elite planned global domination through derivatives, through the quadrillion, 1,000+ trillion they created to buy up all the real assets. But that things didn't go the way they planned, and so it's even more scary. They basically lost control and realized that it endangered their own system, so they have decided to artificially trigger it earlier. And so
it's almost as if they think they have run out of time.
No, that's what they say. And obviously, George, you're informed and you know that. You're just posing the question so I can answer it.
You know me too well.
I know you too well, George. You're a great guy. I wish I could hear. I mean, you tell people, what do you see happening, George? I mean, you've laid it out. I mean, it's not just Alex Jones.
I have said for years now that there's a much bigger picture that we should be aware of, and that what they want, it's a sickness of control. I keep going back to the movie Eyes Wide Shut.
It's control freak, baby.
Exactly. I mean, that movie represents exactly who these people are and what they want. They've got houses that 50 of us could put our houses in.
They've got 20 mistresses apiece.
They've got the cars. They've got everything they want. They don't toil. They don't work their tails off at night like I do and you do and so many Americans do.
They play with our world like it's a toy.
That's all they want. They are simply playing. They are so bored with everything. I had David Icke on earlier. He is also like you. He just hits it right out of the park, says it the way he sees it. These people are bored with life. They have nothing to do.
Well,
This is their challenge. They enjoy this.
It's a global risk game. You hit the nail on the head. You hit it out of the park. And to them, it's a chess game. And it's high risk. But if we look at the pathology, if we look at the psychology of Nero in Rome and the Aztecs and all the other, and the Byzantine empires and Hitler and Stalin, when they've got total control is when they go nuts and destroy things. They are self-destructive, and in their greed, that doesn't matter if they have hundreds of billions apiece. It doesn't matter if they own basically whole countries' financial systems. They state in Carnegie Foundation and Ford Foundation documents, they openly say it. They write books about it. They're mad that we have nice houses and swimming pools and good-looking wives and happy children. They want to wreck it and ruin it all because they're greedy, selfish control freaks.
Alex, let's talk about the false UFO flag when we come right back on Coast to Coast AM.
The official website of Coast to Coast AM is www.coasttocoastam.com. Log on now.
The king of science.